Hello, welcome everyone to another episode of Analog Recess. I am Jimmy.
I'm Tommy.
Awesome. And today we're just going to kind of talk about a couple different things. We're going to kind of wing it a little bit, but definitely going to kind of catch up, talk about some things we talked about on our previous episodes, touch base on them, and we're also going to talk about a TV show that is sweeping the nation, I guess you could say. Just a great, awesome show, Shogun.
So good.
Let's go.
So good. The concerts that I talked about a couple episodes back, i.e. G3 with Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, and Eric Johnson, and Extreme with Living Colour, and the Surfer Jets. I went to all those concerts. So good. Absolutely amazing.
Which one was your favorite?
Extreme.
Yeah.
I mean, the G3, this was killer, but Extreme and Living Colour was ridiculous. I mean, Nuno Bettencourt, the guitarist for Extreme, and Vernon Reid, the guitarist for Living Colour, are just absolutely insanely good. Like, it was, and the energy in that place was great. So, Nuno's kind of the Eddie Van Halen-y. He comes from that school, Eddie Van Halen, so his playing is just absolutely unreal. And a great time with my friend Jill and my friend Ryan and his wife Rebecca that were visiting from out of town, old friend from childhood, and we just had a blast. It was a lot of fun. Killer show, a lot of fun. Yeah. So what about you?
Surf Jets?
Surfer
That's
Jets
the
was
all-girl band, right?
all-girl surf
the
guitar
Rhythm
band. Rhythm Room, and that show was great too. I was with my friend Stu and his lovely wife Tara. Great time, so much fun. Yes,
I was checking them out whenever I was editing that last episode. We were talking about them, and listening to them. And
yeah, they signed my guitar,
nice.
So I got another some more DNA on the guitar, so that's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
All these bands, you should check out at least once or twice. And, Tommy knows what he's talking about.
So. Oh yeah. By the way, I saw Dune 2. A must-see. I did it right, too. I saw it in the theaters. But if everyone remembers Dune 1, this is exactly how I pictured it, trying to understand and read the books in college and or in high school. And it was good stuff. Yeah, and the Dune 2 was great. I'm looking forward to this being a grown-up sci-fi series. So they've already agreed to Timothée Chalamet. Did a fantastic job of Paul Atreides, Muad'Dib. And it's absolutely fantastic. Like, so good. Like, the acting is top notch. The cinematography is the best I've seen, I think, ever on the big screen. It is just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's pushing $1 billion, I think. It's good. Yeah, I think so. And they did it on a budget of $190 million. So, that I forgot. Look, I'm poking at the screen right now. My Godzilla -1 got some Academy Awards for special effects and whatnot. I knew it. That's awesome. That was my movie of the year last year. Yep.
Dark Horse.
It was. Yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't really seen any movies lately. It just, kind of
Boo.
TV shows here and there.
Okay, TV show. All right. So, is this the segue?
This is the segue.
Yeah, you think so?
Sure.
I don't know. How long were we chatting for? 10 minutes? Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's a nice little segue.
Yeah.
Talk about a show that Tommy and I both really enjoy right now, which is Shogun. It is based off of a novel that was written in the 70s.
Yeah. Yes.
Clavel.
Yeah. James Clavell. Mm-hmm.
And it was adapted to a TV series in the 80s.
1980.
Yeah.
Not 80. I mean, literally 1980. I was in 5th grade when it came out. Mm-hmm. So I watched it. It was
I never saw it.
I mean, this you got to keep in mind, people, this is before cable. Mm-hmm. So events like this, a miniseries in particular, delving into, 1600 feudal Japan, was like, what the? And the book was already a bestseller. So my dad had already read it, loved it. The author, James Clavell, was a very interesting man. He was a prisoner of war during World War II. Mm-hmm. Japanese concentration camp. He was in one. It's really interesting. Like, he talked about it. He's like, he was just fascinated with their culture and their mannerisms and their
respect.
Yeah. It was just he was kind of in awe of that to some degree. Not necessarily pro or con, just he was fascinated by it. And so all the books he writes about, he actually writes a book about it called The Rat King, which is kind of a take on his life in the POW camp. That was his first bestseller. Then he wrote Shogun, and then a third book he wrote was a story of mid-'80s Hong Kong, where the British have anyway, long story short, it's like power broking. It's called Taipan. Great. And that was a miniseries too, with Pierce Brosnan, which was also really interesting. Yeah. But great author, and the book, the TV show we're about to talk about, obviously goes, I think, much deeper into the story and the lore of, like, names have been changed, obviously, but it's absolutely fascinating, that world. I was born and raised in Hawaii. My dad was born in Hawaii. My sister, my brother, my grandfather, my great-grandfather. So,
Holy cow.
Yeah. So I'm OG local. And I, as a baby, all my friends were Japanese, some Chinese. Did I have any white? Oh, yeah, I did have a Howley friend, Jay Frankenberg. But needless to say, I'm a huge, since I was a baby, a fan of Japanese culture, everything. Godzilla movies, superheroes, childhood books. These were read to me. My mom, Momotaro. It was this one is like special to me. So this was the one. Absolutely fantastic. And then our nanny, that was my dad's nanny, and mine too when I was a baby. She, when I was very young, so 5 and under, but trying to teach me Japanese flashcards for the characters and how to pronounce them. So with yeah, boom, boom, yeah.
So those cards themselves are like 50 years old.
Yeah, 50 years old, maybe older. So the books too. So the books are 50 plus years old too. So right there.
That's cool.
Yeah. When Shogun, I heard they were, doing another series about it. I knew it was going to be obviously better. 1980 NBC television was edited very much, so they couldn't. But they did some stuff on the TV show in 1980 that was like, wow, like season 1 or episode 1. There's a urination scene to show dominance with right. So episode 7's tonight. So that kind of shows you where we're at in the series. So we're past the halfway part. Tornaga is, moving his chess pieces around the board. I can't recommend this show enough. So for any younger people that like the Game of Thrones, this is right up there, in my opinion. So, and it's loosely based on factual events that actually happened too.
Oh yeah.
So William Adams is the guy it's based on, who was an English privateer, which is a pirate, and he crashes on Japan looking for the country itself so that the English can do trading of silk, and silk is very rare and hard to get, and they had a silk trade going just to open up trade with them. But the Portuguese, which are rivals of England at the time, already have a relationship with them, being Catholic. Britain, England at this time is Protestant. So
yeah, the cast of Shogun is an awesome, unbelievable cast.
Oh, amazing.
A lot of people that, aren't really recognizable here in America.
Right.
But once you start kind of digging, like some of the casts, I just going on IMDb, I noticed, hey, they're in this movie or they're in that movie.
Yeah.
Like John Blackthorne, who's Cosmo Jarvis.
Man, that is some amazing. That's why the British do that Shakespeare stuff. That's why they're the best. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's from New Jersey, so
get the hell out. Are you serious?
American born, but his accent is so convincing.
It's so deep too. He's almost got a third testicle. It's like, hey, Blackthorne.
Yeah. But he was in Peaky Blinders.
As an Irish guy?
Yeah, with our boy Cillian Murphy.
Right.
And he was also in a movie I was talking to Tommy about last week at work. It's a movie called Annihilation. and he was a special
Oh,
officer.
yeah. You did, right.
The main, character, Toranaga, played by
Hariko Sanada. He's big time in Japan. Yeah, as a matter of fact, and then the other actor playing Kashigi, his kind of he's not comic relief, but that character in the book as well as the TV series from 1980, that same type of scummy yet fun type samurai.
He's kind of funny, like that.
Yeah,
it's not like comedy, but he's kind of.
But you can't get over him boiling that dude alive in the beginning in that first episode, and so I don't care how cool he is, man, dude, that was brutal. But he's played by Asano, and ironically both Shineda and Asano are in 13 Assassins with Keanu Reeves, and they're enemies in that. They're two different warlords in Japan.
Yeah.
So
the guy, the guy who plays Toranaga was also in the Tom Cruise Last Samurai.
Yeah,
he was the main character.
He was.
He was also in a show that I really loved, Lost. He was in a couple of episodes.
Okay, yeah, he's big time. Yeah. He's great, and the acting chops in this are just top tier. Seriously top tier. Yeah, and the set design, everything about it. Yeah. They're adding a lot of stuff in the books, doing some changes that I don't mind, actually. They're keeping all the high drama, high tension, violence. I mean, obviously it's gory. I didn't mind so much. So
the James Clavell's granddaughter, I believe, granddaughter is an executive producer on the show.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. That's awesome. I might do the audiobook when this series ends.
Me too, actually. That's a good idea.
I might do the audiobook because I forgot how cool this story is. It's really cool.
That'll be like a 30-hour audiobook.
Man, yeah.
There's also some like fun, cool little details that they throw in there, or like little trivia. But like the reason why the samurai are so bald on top, they do that on purpose, but then have like the man bun in the back is so that their helmet, when they go to battle, fits on right.
Correct.
And they also always had two swords. They always had the katana and then the
sashi. The katana and the sashi. Wakasashi.
But then they also call the generic names were Daito and Shoto.
Noted. You should go on Discovery Channel or YouTube for that matter, and there's only 2 or 3 samurai sword making families left in Japan. Man, those swords go for hundreds, if not millions, of dollars. What goes into making it is absolutely fascinating in the way of human history, what the Japanese were doing long before like Western civilization was figuring out steel, because that's key. Steel, not good steel, not crap steel. If you don't get the carbon out while you're banging it, it's just it could shatter. But the Japanese, pure. I mean, that's why it never rusts. They have these swords. You should go and check. You can go down a rabbit hole of samurai swords on YouTube. You really can. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Watch Kill Bill Volume 2.
Dude, that's funny. That the guy who made the
Hattori Hanzo.
The Hattori Hanzo was an actual sword. That's one of the most famous samurai swords of all time. So for him to be alive is kind of interesting. Quentin Tarantino did his homework on that.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why he picked that samurai sword maker as the best guy ever. He was an actual dude back, 1,000 years ago or however long it was. But his swords are considered to be top tier. Yeah, very cool.
And even the little one, the Shaito sword, it was used for short combat, especially if it was indoors, not a lot of, room for the katana. But they also did the seppuku. So, if you dishonored somebody or
harikiri. There's seppuku and there's harikiri. So one of them is, if you want to go out like a real rock star, is basically you carve a cross on your belly, but then you pull out your own intestines to show the person. And right when you do that, there's a dude behind you and he cuts your head off.
Still a hell of a way to go out.
Oh yeah, dude.
And how can you
rock star way?
That says so much about their culture.
For sure.
That you even just verbally disrespect somebody.
Oh.
They will. All right, I'll commit seppuku and instead of dishonoring my family's name because I want my
Season
family
was that
still-
episode 1 or 2 with that guy who accidentally stepped on the
I think
mat?
that was episode 1.
I think it was episode 1. Yeah, that's right, it was. And then his wife is Iko. That's that's Blackthorn's kind of sidekick, housemaid or whatever. Yeah. So
she's awesome as well in the show. But
she is.
yeah,
We need to give. I got to give props to the women. Wait,
Yeah.
Mariko is Anna Sawai.
Yeah.
Sawa. Dude, she is killing it right now. Absolutely slaying it.
God, what has she got to be like 4'10" maybe? She's so small.
Yeah. I do want to talk about that really quick. So in 1980, with the original miniseries, I thought that was fascinating because my father, his favorite book, easily in his top 3, was Shogun. Not even close. Like, he'll even tell you that, or if he was still around. But he loved that book, and that's hence why, I wanted to read what my dad was reading. The book was done more in, like, it's a story of Toranaga. It's not a story of Blackthorn. Blackthorn's in the story, obviously, and it's interesting, but it's more of the chess moves that Toranaga's making in this important part of history of feudal Japan in 1600. And I think that the 1980 show, the director didn't think that the American audience would appreciate that so much. So there's no subtitles. Most of it's done in English for the most part. With the Japanese that is spoken, they did film it in Japan. With a movie set and everything in Japan. But it's more of a story for Richard Chamberlain, who was playing Blackthorn. So it was more palatable for a 1980s U.S. audience because it was made for them. This one, on the flip side, is much more like the book. The story's about Toranaga, and I'm more interested in that anyway, right?
But by the time this gets edited, maybe the whole season will be over.
It might be. It likely might be. Yeah. So
awesome. So I guess not speaking of music, we're going to move on. But Tommy has this nice, beautiful, beautiful guitar he just got with the nice autograph. Is that Steve Vai? Yeah, that's nice. So Tommy, what do we got here today?
Late friend Scott Horton, God bless him, basically willed me this guitar. My buddy I went to concerts with, and actually I saw Steve Vai with backstage to get this autograph. And it's a wonderful guitar. So this is a 2015 Ibanez Gem Prestige BFP77. BFP stands for Blue Floral Pattern. This guitar is still available for sale, which is funny, but it's always sold out. So they don't make, they make a few hundred a year. That's it. So, and this is the first year that they came out with, the 2015 model. So, and it is absolutely fantastic. And also, this guitar is meant for good old-fashioned shred lead type 80s, 90s type stuff. And with that, I need to, this is a good opportunity to give props out to 2 pedal makers that I've befriended over the last year or so. One is BMF Effects out of Southern California. Scott K is the owner and proprietor of this artesian pedal making company, and they are absolutely fantastic for very tonal specific artesian pedals. This isn't like off the rack stuff. Pedals are expensive. They're handmade by Scott K. He does one at a time. And for this tone that sounds killer right now, I'm using his 915 vibe effect, which is basically a univibe, but it can also act like a chorus, which kind of gives that wet, washy, liquidy sound. And then for the distortion, it is Lawrence Petros at LPD Designs, and he's right here in Arizona, in Mesa. And he hand makes his specialty for artesian pedals is kind of a amp in a box. And so the one that I've purchased from him is the 87, which is based on a 1987 hot rodded Marshall that you would have found with like Eddie Van Halen or Steve Vai or one of those other artists back in the 80s and 90s that played a lot of shred. And then finally it's going into a Fender reflecting pool, which is for that space age reverb echo effect coming out of there in stereo, going into my Princeton 68 reverb, which I love dearly, and I can't stop playing it. That's right behind me. It's great, and that's mic'd up with an SM58, as well as a Sennheiser E609. And then the other part of the stereo rig is the Fender Tone Master Deluxe Reverb, and I'm going direct out of that, meaning it's got a separate cable that comes out of the back of it. I'm going directly into the sound card.
Your pedals smell like feet.
Anyway, the guitar itself it's fantastic. It's absolutely plays like butter. 5-piece neck. It's a wizard type neck. You can kind of see it. That's an autograph with Steve Vai right there. I also need to give a huge shout out to Bronson Guitars in Scottsdale. They do all the guitar work that is a little bit above my pay grade. So, and this one was no exception with, I wanted to have the autograph of Steve Vai clear coated properly and not look there. I've seen some clear coat guitars with autographs and you can see where it starts and stops with the clear coat. This, it looks like it's just part of the guitar. It'll never wear out. It's a very special guitar to me, so I just want to make sure it was taking care of it properly. They stripped the entire guitar, restrung it, set it up, leveled it, leveled and crowned the frets. Absolutely amazing. The pickups are Steve Vai's signature DiMarzio Gravity Storms on the neck and the bridge, and in the middle is another Steve Vai signature pickup from the Evolution, which is my purple gem. The purple pickups are Evolution DiMarzio Steve Vai pickups.
Did Scott play guitar a lot too?
You know,
more of a collector.
He had cool. This is one of the pieces. Beautiful. He didn't play. He considered himself more of a drummer.
Nice.
Yeah, but he was a really good drummer. Guitar, he was okay, but he was a good drummer. Yeah, and when we were kids, we, Highway to Hell and like Garage and stuff like that when we were kids. So we had a lot of fun. So I had some great times with Scott. Not to mention I saw some amazing concerts with that man.
All right, thank you everyone for watching another episode of Analog Recess. Please subscribe and like. Maybe throw some comments on there for us. Check Tommy out on Instagram. Check Analog Recess on Instagram as well. And until next time,
Go shrimp!